start then. So today is called What Do You Do When You Don't Know What to Do? And the reason that I thought this would be a good topic to kick off the video series I'm going to create for a better entrepreneur is that I come across people all the time who know what they want to do eventually, and we're going to talk about that more in a minute, but they don't know how to get there. And in a way, I'm in that same situation because I'm going through a transition period myself. I went through the whole thing of getting really interested and excited by AI and seeing how much it could help me do my own content creation. And I came to the conclusion that it could help me plan content creation and research content creation, but I didn't want it actually writing the stuff for me or creating the videos for me. So then that sort of put me off everything a bit. And in the end, I did a lot of journaling and I did a lot of, thinking. I did a lot of thinking. And I came to the conclusion that I knew where I wanted to end up, which is, we're going to talk, as I say, a bit more about that in a minute, but I didn't know how to get there. And I thought, wow, this is just like the very beginning. This is just like 1998, when I knew that I was training as a life coach then, but I knew I didn't want to be a life coach. I knew I wanted to be, I knew I wanted to be a business and money coach. And I just started writing a weekly newsletter. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's talk about things in the specific order that I've written down. I want to talk about them, which is you don't know what you don't know, which means that you don't know which are going to be the best marketing methods for your eventual outcome, whether your eventual outcome is a cafe, whether it's a business, whether it's a local business, whether it's an international business, whether it's you offering a service, or perhaps you're a healer or a psychic or something like that, and you want to attract clients. Well, the thing is, you don't know what's going to work for you in marketing unless you try things out. And no matter all the gurus out there that are telling you that their way works, it's actually very different for each kind of business. And it's also very different for two different businesses that are identical in every other way. It's very, very complicated because those two personalities who are running those two businesses are completely different. So their marketing methods that they enjoy, which means that you'll do it, and that'll work, which means that your customers are at the other end seeing your messages and seeing, whatever your marketing message is, whether it's on the local radio, whether it's in the local newspaper, whether it's putting up cards in your local area, whether it's going online to attract national customers, whether it's going online to attract international customers. You've got to enjoy your marketing or you won't do it, especially in the early days, because in the early days, even if you're a startup and you've got a bit of funding, you're really looking for the marketing methods that work for your business to reach your ideal customer, because there are lots of marketing methods and they can reach lots of different customers, but if they're not your enjoyable marketing methods, you won't do them. And if your ideal customer is on the other end and it's just any old customer, then you're going to have a very tough time in business indeed. And I found all of this out, all of it from personal experience. So so that's why you have to just start, even if you don't know what's going to work for you. And documenting the journey is one of the most powerful things you can do. It's very, very, very authentic. It enables people to connect with you very easily. If you can bring yourself to do something like a live or record a video and put that up, then but I find this is an exact example of that. I've been sitting here wanting to make videos for about 3 weeks now, and I just cannot make myself do it if there's nobody there. So it's really, I have to do things live in order to get the recording that I then put up on everything, because there's an element of danger going live, which I quite enjoy. And, like today, I've woken up and I'm very flushed today, very florid looking. I can see that. And that's because I'm in the middle of chemo, and the prednisolone, I think it's called, the steroids make you really flushed. But I had set this up for 11 o'clock this morning. So no matter how bright red I get, I'm going to continue and I'm going to completely ignore it, because it's the way that I enjoy making content. And if I don't enjoy it, I don't do it. And that goes for most of us, I think. So I enjoy going live. I enjoy trying out new things. I don't enjoy it on my laptop tells me, what's my battery doing? It looks all right. It just turned itself off then. Well, it went dark anyway. We don't want that in the middle of a live, do we? There's probably a setting for this somewhere, but it's a brand new laptop. So I'm not going to muck about with it. I'm just going to keep my mouse moving around, which will be a bit annoying for you lot, hopefully. Hopefully not. Right, where was I? Right, so you don't know what you do. So I'm just going to document my journey. When I came to that realization that I didn't want to do things in the traditional way, even using AI, I thought, let's go back and look at what worked. And what worked for me was sending out a weekly newsletter. And I've become very enamored of watching people like, there's two people in particular, Dan Coe, Koe, and he did a really good live stream yesterday on Substack, which is what inspired me to do that. So thank you, Dan, with a guy called Craig, and they were only a young chap, but he really super knew his stuff. And he was coming up to speed very quickly by reading lots and lots of great classic marketing books. And they were talking about how to create profound content, how to create content that's meaningful to you and your future ideal customers. Now, I don't even know if I want customers yet, because I don't really want to be coaching in the way that I used to, with a one-to-one service and also a group service for those who couldn't afford the one-to-one. I don't know if I want to do it like that, because what I'm trying to avoid is having definite dates in my diary. Because if you've read my freedom post of just recently, when I talk about be careful what you wish for, because it's what you're probably going to get. And it's something along those lines. It's when you get it was all about my empty diary and how my idea of freedom is having an empty diary. And I've got a few clients right now, but they're the kind of clients who don't like to book in advance as well. Excuse me. All sorts of weird things going on in my body today. So the clients I've got at the moment are the ones who just don't want to have, say, a rigid time every Thursday morning, or or if they want to be mentored, they just want to pop up and say, I need an hour. Have you got some time? Because I want to be flexible and free and spontaneous, and so do my clients most of the time. So I've had to rethink how I could offer anything at all, if I wanted to offer anything. Because obviously, when I got when I was so ill before Christmas, November and December. And then at the end of December, I found out what it was, and we started treatment, and I feel incredibly much better, which is a real miracle considering what they're doing to me. But it's working. That's the main thing. And I'm also doing alternative supplement protocols and things, just for those of you who are wondering. I'm doing all the alternatives. So coming back to, I didn't know if I wanted to make an offer. I didn't know who I wanted to make it to, but what I did know was that my book, A Better Entrepreneur, had not got the attention it deserved, because I hadn't prioritized the marketing of it when I finished it. So I thought that was a good place to start. As I came out of my not feeling very well fog at Christmas, I thought, no, I can't just sit here on the sofa and watch daytime TV all day, even if it is survival cabin builders. It's still the same sort of thing. So I just started to think about what I wanted to do next, because, assuming that's why it's called Letters from the Edge, because I was on the edge of not knowing what was going to happen with my business. I knew I was on the edge of not knowing what was going to happen with my life. I was on the edge of not knowing what was happening with where I was going to live because of the global macroeconomic situation. So I feel like I'm sitting on the edge of all these decisions and outcomes, that some of which I've got control over and some of which I don't. So that's why I renamed the newsletter, because it seemed to reflect more what I was doing right now. And so then, I decided, didn't know what I wanted to offer at the end, did know the book needed some more attention, thought that would be a good intellectual stimulation for me while I was sitting there doing nothing. So I started to think, how would I market my book if that was all I had to do? Because effectively it is, apart from a bit of trading in the mornings, getting ready for the market open at 2:30 in the USA. So intellectual stimulation, that's what I was after. So I went back and I thought, this is where I started working with Claude, because ChatGPT is really starting to pee me off with its jaunty tone and blow smoke up your ass demeanor. So Claude's a lot more down to earth, and it's also a lot more geared to writers. So I uploaded my books to Claude, and I said, okay, this is the latest book. I want to market this online. I want to aim at a client who might want one-to-one mentoring, or that's basically the conclusion I came to at the end of all this thinking, was that I only wanted to work with one-to-one clients. I don't want to do group stuff anymore. So lots of reasons for that. That would be a whole live stream on its own. But I'm not getting on with this very well. So here I am sitting there thinking about my book, how to market the book. And I thought, hang on, it's got to be on Substack. Substack's got to be my main focus along with YouTube, because I love video and I love writing. And from live video, you can get writing, but you can't get a video from writing. So that's why I prefer to do it around this way. It's more efficient for me. So I was sort of beginning with the end in mind, because I knew what I didn't want to do, and I knew what I did want to do, but I didn't know how to get it, how to achieve it, how to attract clients like that. Although I have accidentally in the past, it's usually been as a result of my normal internet marketing activities, because the people who came that were my ideal clients were referred by other people, usually from seeing my marketing. So you can begin with the end in mind, which is the kind of clients you want to attract for your business, and what kind of clients those are, and where they're likely to be, and what they're likely to consume, if anything. And if not them, then the people that would refer them to you, what would they be consuming? I know that my market is massively on Facebook, but I don't really enjoy Facebook anymore. So I need to create content on another platform that I can then repurpose for Facebook. So beginning with the end in mind gives you a really good idea of where you need to be, who you need to be talking to, what you need to be saying. Or alternatively, you can start from the beginning like I did back in 98, where I didn't even know that I thought I was building a coaching business, but it turned out to be all sorts of other things came along as well, as I saw the opportunities. And but I was just documenting my journey. Every single week I used to send out a newsletter called Diary of a Seaside Landlady. It was just my name first, and then when I bought the hotel, it became the Diary of a Seaside Landlady. And every single week, just by documenting what I was doing, how I was learning about how money works, because it was a financially orientated newsletter in those days. I was learning what I learned around property. I was learning what I'd learned that week about internet marketing, business marketing, business and internet marketing, business online and offline, really. Stock market, and what was the other thing? Property, stock market, business, and internet business. That was it. So it's 3 lanes of the wealth highway, and I made it 4 because I separated out the 2 kinds of business. And so you can begin at the beginning, not knowing what you're going to be doing at the end, but documenting your journey. Or you can begin at the end, know what kind of clients you want to attract, know what you want to offer them, and then puzzle out where they are and where they can be found and where you can get in front of them. And so then, why do you need to create content? Having just said, I don't want to do all that old, spewing out content with, especially using AI. My God, you can tell it a mile off, can't you? So why do you need to create content? Well, because without creating content in one form or another, you are effectively totally invisible to your ideal customers. And even if you're a cafe, I mean, I've just finally started seeing all my favorite tavernas in my favorite Greek village starting to use social media well. It's taken 10 years from when I started the Stupa Life Facebook group, just to give them an outlet, somewhere they could put in, if they were having a special event on at their taverna, or if they were having a live band or something like that. They had nowhere to let everybody know or let their customers know that they were doing that. And they wouldn't have dreamed of emailing their customers, even the ones who weren't staying there, saying, we've got blah-de-blah, Rebettigo band on tonight. I think they should have been doing that. Should have been keeping all their customers up to date with what was going on at the taverna. But it's taken them 10 years to get to the point of being able to do that and getting to learn how to do it well. And I'm delighted to see it. Even my local, there's 2 local businesses in Shoreham here that do a really good job of their social media marketing, and that's the Tap House and Tosca's. And I suspect that they may even be using the same person, because they're really good. They have special offers on certain nights for certain streets in Shoreham. So there's really good. They talk about the different menu changes. They talk about the live music they have, and they do it really, really well. But nobody else does. It's like there's a stark contrast between 2 restaurants who do it brilliantly and nothing else. So that's why you have to do it. You have to create content in some form, because you have to have something to reach out to your customers with. And if you don't do it, you're invisible, and your competitors will hoover up all your customers. So how do you know what to do or where to do it? Well, I've just told you. We began with the end in mind on my previous thing there. So that's why you need content, because your competitors are doing it, because you need to have something to reach out to customers with in a non-pushy sales way, and you need to make a journey of your content. And like I say, it's all about the customer journey, and they say it takes customers 7 to 10 times to get to know you well enough to perhaps show an interest in something. Everyone's filtering out, because we are bombarded with gazillions of ads, more than we used to be in the olden days being when I was young. And so it's really important that you make a journey of it, that you find things. I mean, one of our local restaurants that does things really well is it takes pictures of the dogs that come in, because it's a coffee shop in the daytime and a restaurant in the evening. And they always have people with dogs going past. And Shoreham's a very dog-friendly place. Lots of the businesses put out bowls of water for passing dogs and things like that. And one of them in particular keeps her dog in the salon. So, all the dogs going past, they like to have a sniff and a nose about. It's really nice. And so that's one of the things that one of the restaurants does. It takes a dog of the day picture. So you've got to find something. There's always something. I mean, I used to know Hal the bug catcher, and Hal the bug catcher was looked after in his marketing by my mate Mike, the internet audio guy, and then he became the internet video guy. And he was just great at getting Hal to be the preeminent bug catcher in the area. I mean, I couldn't watch some of them because they were so full of bugs, but it's like he was crawling under people's houses and fumigating all sorts of horrible things. And it was in the deep south. Where are they? They're down in Alabama, and so they get a really nasty class of bug down there, let me tell you. But Hal the bug catcher, if you search him on YouTube, I'm sure you'll still find him. And he grew from not just being the preeminent bug catcher in the area but becoming the guy who was invited to speak at conferences about how to market yourself as a pest control expert. So, don't ever tell me that there is nothing you can't make content. In fact, I set you a challenge right now. If you've got a business, then send me the details, send me the website, and I will think of, 3 to 10 ideas about what you could make content about. Never found a business yet that I couldn't help people make content for. Not that's what I want to do now, but I'm just telling you, there's not a business out there that couldn't create content. Engaging content that would attract their ideal clients, because that is what you're after. So make a journey of your content. What's worked for me? I mean, newsletters work for me. YouTube sort of works for me because I still get, X number of views, even though I haven't put a video up for ages. All that's about to change. What else has worked for me? Going and speaking at events has worked for me. Having books has worked for me. Doesn't mean you need to do it like that. It's a lot of things have worked for my clients that haven't worked for me, and vice versa. So, there's lots of different ways, but always start with what you enjoy. And I enjoy writing. I enjoy speaking. I enjoy doing live video like this. I really enjoy being on podcasts and having a conversation with people. So if you've got a podcast, then just invite me. I'll turn up. I'm not, I will literally turn up and talk about entrepreneurship, wealth creation, investing in gold and silver, running a hotel, all those things that I've done, running a fashion business, running a music business, running a record label, publishing company, and a management company. What else? I love speaking spontaneously. Because I know my topic inside out. So I'm perfectly confident that even if I don't know, I will know where to know the answer to your question. So there's no question that could faze me, because I just know my topic so well. And I think you do too, if you're an expert of any kind. And most people who run a business are experts in something or other, or they wouldn't be running a business themselves. They'd be working for someone else. What else has worked for me? Joint ventures locally. When I had the hotel, 3-way joint ventures, 2-way joint ventures, promoting each other's businesses, that has worked really, really well. And the best thing about that is you get to know lots of the local business people. So I would definitely encourage networking, even if you're an introvert like me. I get out, I get a glass of wine in my hand, and I work that room. And I don't, I'm Mrs. Confident with a glass of vino. So I don't know how much sense I make from the other side, but I always seem to come away with some good contacts. So it's obviously not that bad. I haven't had a drink since Christmas, mind. Yes. So what am I doing now? I'm concentrating on my book as the source of my content and my topics, and then I'm going out and I'm going to be doing live videos as often as possible, at least once a week, and that will create my content for all of the other platforms. And so I will spend my week chopping up that content and getting it onto other platforms. But the live part of it is the part that I hope to attract new people through, and they'll come to the Substack newsletter, which is nicolacairncross.substack.com, or they'll come to the YouTube channel, which is at Nicola Cairncross. And it will either be the videos or the video content, attracting people to the book. The book I've got a special offer on. You can get 3 chapters completely free. So come to nicolacairnext.com and you will get your 3 free chapters. And then once you've decided to invest in the book, all you need to do is send me your Amazon receipt link, and I will give you access to my interactive app, which is pretty cool because it's got all 3 of my books, the Money Gym Tips, A Better Entrepreneur, and Attract 3.0, which is my marketing book. And all of those books have been fed into the interactive app, and that's something you can make through ChatGPT, by the way, very easily. And I think I've got a video somewhere that I'm happy to share if people want to know how to do that. So go to my YouTube channel at Nicola Cairncross and just search for create ChatGPT app. I'm pretty sure that'll find it. But if not, just email me or hit reply to one of my Substack emails, and you'll get through to me straight away, and I'll find it for you. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm driving people to the book. I'm hoping to get people using the app. And then if people then want to, they can get access to my bot library that I've created for myself, which are the bots I've created to do the tasks that I do most often. And happy to share that. And then, as I say, the back end is just going to be random people who come and ask me for mentoring, whether that's about marketing, business, setting up a business, being a better entrepreneur, or indeed gold and silver investing. So what am I not doing? I'm not doing anything I don't enjoy. It's blunt and simple as that. I'm not doing anything I don't enjoy. And I'm not doing anything that wears me out. And it's got to be flexible because obviously I don't know. I've got one more series of chemo, 3 weeks, 2 more actually. I'm going on holiday for the next 3 weeks with series 5, and then I'm coming back and doing series 6, and then I'll know what's what by the end of August because I'll have done my PET scan by then. But so I've got to be really flexible and available to go to appointments at a moment's notice because the NHS is the most disorganized thing I've ever seen in my life. So that's what I'm doing, and then I'll hopefully be starting to work with new clients in September, which will be great. Every time you get confused and stuck about what you need to be doing now, on a Monday morning, I get up and I think, what's the 3 things I could do today to move my business forward? That's the one question I ask myself every day. And I sometimes say, what's the one thing that I can do today to move my business forward? And that's enough. That's fine. Just one thing is fine, I've discovered. So the other thing I like to do is remember the Venn diagram that I had on my desktop for a very long time. It's got 3 circles. You know what a Venn diagram is? It's 3 circles and that makes a little bit in the middle. And what I ask myself is, what do I love to do? What do people want? And what can I get paid for? Because I don't want to be trying to flog a dead horse. I've flogged so many business dead horses in my time, I can't tell you. You've got to get something that people respond to. You've got to get something that you can run paid traffic and get responses for, so that people will show an interest in your ad. Because at some point you get beyond the point of organic traffic being enough and you want to drive some ads. And the other thing that ads are good for is testing, split testing. So I was talking to ChatGPT about my book and, the Amazon KDP ads I was running, a bit like Google ads, but on Amazon. And I've learned how to do that as well, obviously. So, but it was talking about how you can split test with ads. And ChatGPT was saying, oh, your book's the wrong color. It needs to be something that jumps off the page more. It's white with a black and orange writing. And I did have an orange version with black and white writing. So I thought, okay, well, I'm not going to just take ChatGPT's word for it that my book is the wrong color. I'm going to run 2 tests. I'm going to change the color of my book on the Amazon ads and see if that makes a difference for a week. And then I'm going to also run a Facebook ad campaign offering people 3 free chapters of the book. And I'll run the ads split tested between a white cover and an orange cover. And that's what we did. And it was really good fun. And it worked really well. And of course, the outcome surprised me, because usually the outcome is the one you least want, which is really galling for the ego. But if you're managing to put your ego to one side and think, no, I'm split testing here, my ego's got no place in this, then I was really pleased that it chose the one that I liked. I got many, many more clicks on the white background book cover than I did on the orange one. So that's why Facebook ads is quite good. And the other thing is that Facebook ads shows you whether there's any interest in your topic at all. And if you can't get anyone to click on a Facebook ad and give you their name and email, then you're going to struggle. So try and pick a business that people want, where you're supplying a problem, an outcome to a problem, or a desire that people actually have. So coming back to the Venn diagram, what I want to do intersected with what people want, and then you've got to make sure that it's also what people will pay for, because you need to be able to get paid for it, whatever it is. Otherwise, it's not a business. Okay, and my next steps are to continue with Facebook and Amazon ads. I've turned the Facebook ads off for now while I'm away, because I will be too busy to upload the leads and make sure they get the free gifts and things like that. So then I'm going to come back and restart them. But in the meantime, the Amazon ads are rolling. They're very, very, very cheap. It's £50 a month or so for Amazon ads. And the best thing is you're paying for impressions. Sorry, you actually only pay for the clicks. You don't pay for the impressions. So I'm making sure that my book appears next to Dan Priestley's books, next to the E-Myth books, next to Diary of a CEO books. But I don't necessarily get many clicks from those necessarily. And I only pay for the clicks, not the impressions. So I'm being seen a lot, but only if people click do I actually have to pay. And the cost per click is running very, very cheap at the moment. And I have made some sales from the advertising on Amazon. It's not as good as Facebook or Google particularly. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And then I might think about some Google ads for YouTube so that I'm advertising on other people's videos. And then I've got to record the recent video course that I've been sort of trialing in the ads to see if there's any interest, and there is. So I've got to actually record that. So I'm thinking I might do it as lives, a series of lives, because then I'm much more likely to do it. It creates content at the same time, and then I'm creating and editing that content for a course. So that's what I might do. The big question now, though, having sat and listened to me waffle on for half an hour, is what are you going to do next? What ideas have occurred to you while listening? What thoughts are going through your head about your business? What questions might you have for me? Do use the comments box below, and I monitor all my comments on all my social media platforms. It doesn't take me long because I sit in the evening and watch a bit of survival log building. That's my latest passion. And I flick through my comment sections and answer everyone personally. So if you have a question for me about your business or your marketing or what you should do next, or how I would help you if we were working together on a one-to-one basis, then just drop your questions and comments in the comments and I'll be delighted to reply. And let me know if you haven't got any questions or comments, but you just enjoyed this live stream, and whether you're going to be subscribing to my Substack, which will remind you every time I go live and cover this video course, which is some good topics in there from the A Better Entrepreneur book. It's not your typical video course, put it that way. Speak to you later, everyone. Thank you for joining me, Helen and Wendy, and I really appreciate your time. Speak soon.